Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a brand new episode of the PlugTalkSports live show. This is episode 206. Myself, Danny Torres, alongside Janka Don't Stop. It is a chilly night in South Florida. Janka said he is going to enjoy it. I'm wearing a hoodie. I worked out today outside, and it was very nice. It was very nice, but then I took a nice warm shower, some hot chocolate. Very nice. Feeling very comfortable right now. And yeah, it's a good change, man, because this summer, I don't know about you, but this summer was absolutely brutal.
Bro, it's too hot. Too hot.
It was way too hot. And now we step outside today, and it was like, oh my God, this was fantastic. It was much needed down here. Uh, anyways, let's go into good and bad. John, talk to me. Something bad from this past week.
Bad. I mean, I don't really have anything bad. I mean, probably the only thing because I wasn't on the show last week, so I've been dealing with a cold, like a lot of the people in around the world dealing with this cold now since winter's coming on. So everybody's got the sniffles. Finally, it's like after like a week, bro, it's already going away. But I still get since like the change in temperature from like hot in the morning to like nice and cold now. You get that change in temperature, and now all of a sudden you have the runny nose and the cough and everything. So like hopefully by in a couple of days it goes away and I'm back to healthy Janka. But that's probably the bad thing. I just felt really bad last week. I couldn't do the show, but I'm back. Your favorite's back.
Yeah, okay. Settle down there, buddy. Actually, that happened to me about 2 years. 2 years was it 2 years? Yeah, 2 years ago. I was in London. It was very cold, extremely cold, and then flew back to Miami. And then obviously, from one day to the next, I went to the extremes of like high 20s to to like 80 degrees, and my body went into shock, and I got so sick, just from that, like one day, 24 hours of from 20-degree weather to 80-degree weather and humidity. And I got so sick from that. So I definitely know what you mean. Um, Bad for me. I can't say I had anything bad. Well, yeah, I can say there was something bad. I said this before I started my own show, Pressing Matters, on Thursday. Even though it's a soccer podcast, I did mention it. But Marshawn Kneeland, member of the Dallas Cowboys, unfortunately took his own life this past week. The Cowboys, I mean, not fortunately because nobody wants to go through that, but they had a bye week, so I don't know if not playing helped compared to having to play this week, dealing with that. Honestly, if I were in that situation, probably the bye week is very useful because you really you get to I mean, I guess grieve and mourn, right? Because when you have a game, you're forced kind of to be out there in the bright lights, cameras, media, and have to kind of be like everything's okay. But yeah, I would say it was the bad for me. It was Marshawn Kneeland. You guys know I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so it was tough. Jonka's got his card.
I picked it up at the show this past weekend, so I had to just get it just for the show.
Yeah, just very unfortunate situation. So that was my bad. Let's go to lighter things. Jonka, what's good?
Man, you know what? I mean, we're gonna talk about it later in the show, but besides the obvious, for everybody that doesn't know me, besides the obvious, I'm gonna say probably I got to go to the West Palm Beach card show. As you just saw, I picked up a Marshawn Kneeland. Rest in peace. I've got a bunch of Otanis, a bunch of LeBron James, Bronny James, Lucas, CD Lambs, Puka Nakua. I got a bunch of stuff. I loved it. It was super fun. I recommend you guys go if you guys have favorite players, favorite athletes you guys like to follow. It's really fun to collect their cards. It's just a little hobby you can do on the side, and you get to go out more, meet some cool people. So I recommend if you guys aren't into the hobby, get into it. It's really fun.
For me, there was actually quite a lot of good that happened. But if I have to pick one, I'm very excited for this. So I got invited by BMW is having a performance drive upcoming in this month in November at Hard Rock Stadium on what they call the Miami International Autodrome, where Formula One hosts the Miami Grand Prix every year. And it's going to be cool. Be able to drive on the track. There's going to be a little bit of road course experience. I won't say the cars itself. The one that's going on the track is literally the M2, and I drive an M2. So it's like, I'm not getting anything much different. I'm like, I literally could have just brought my car and just done this on my car. I know how to drive this car already. But for the new X3, X5s that they have, we'll be doing the road course on that. So I'm pretty excited for that. See how it drives in an SUV compared to my car that's very small. So I'm excited for that. They also sent an invite for the 24 hours of they call it the Rolex 24 hours of Daytona. That's in January. I don't know if I can go to that. If my work schedule allows me, I would 100% be there for BMW Motorsports endurance team. But yeah, man, I love cars, so I'm very, very excited. Which you guys can see, I just said I love cars. I'm wearing my Scuderia Ferrari hoodie that Jonka got for me. Big Ferrari F1 team fan. We need some help. We really need some help with our car. But yeah, that would be the good for me, man. Very excited for that. And
Shout
we
out
got
to I saw. We shout out to Kimi Antonelli. He got second place. So
we got someone saying hi here. Hello, how are you? Thank you for commenting on the stream and watching. We appreciate you. Jonko, AP top 25. Let's get into it. First order of business. During college football season, we like to get into the poll. So this is the new AP top 25. So at number 1, staying the same, Ohio State. At number 2, and Jonka, I have to say for a moment, I really thought that Indiana was not going to hold on to this number 2 spot after this weekend. Penn State, credit to Penn State. They came out, they played hard. But I gotta shout out my boy, Fernando Mendoza. Could be the first Heisman from Christopher Columbus High School. I'm a proud Christopher Columbus High School alumni. And man, what a hell of a drive. And what a catch by Cooper at the end, with just that toe, just getting that toe to tap into the end zone. And Indiana gets the victory. So they hold on to number 2. At number 3 is the Aggies of Texas A&M. At 4 is Alabama. At 5 is Georgia. At 6 is Ole Miss. At 7 is Oregon. At 8 is Texas Tech. Out at 9 is Notre Dame. At 10 is Texas. At 11 is Oklahoma. At 12 is BYU. At 13 is Vanderbilt. At 14 is Georgia Tech. At 15 is Utah. At 16, Jonka, is your Miami Hurricanes. At 17 is USC. At 18 is Michigan. At 19 is Louisville. At 20 is Virginia. At 21 is Tennessee. At 22 is Cincinnati. At 23 is Pittsburgh. At 24 from the Sun Belt Conference, James Madison. And number 25 back in the rankings, USF. So going over this top 25, what's your initial reaction?
I still don't know why Notre Dame is even ranked in the top 10.
Number 9, man.
Crazy, bro. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But we're not here to talk about that because that situation, I feel like the voters and Notre Dame have some sort of like backhand deal that is dealing with this right now. So besides Notre Dame, I'm not surprised with the first 5. I personally think Ole Miss should be over Georgia. That might be a hot take. Oregon at 7, okay. Texas at 10.
Do you believe in Texas?
Honestly, they play Georgia next week. This coming week, we're gonna find out, buddy. We're gonna find out. It at Georgia, by the way. Nah, that's gonna be. We're gonna find out how good Texas really is, bro. Arch Manning's gonna be put to the test. Oklahoma with John Mateer. They play Alabama this weekend. That's gonna be another big test. Numbers 10 and 11 might fall. If both of them fall, anybody like Miami, Utah, Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt could go up in the rankings depending if they do lose.
Hey, Miami needed some magic and some help, and they got it this past weekend.
Yeah, bro. I was watching, actually, funny enough, both games, Louisville against Cal and then Virginia versus Wake Forest. That game was both games were absolute madness, bro.
Yeah.
Madness. Cal winning in overtime and then Virginia just losing it at the last second. Bro, that was just like, are the gods listening to me? Did they finally hear my prayers? Because I was not understanding, bro. Like, okay, at the same time, Louisville losing to Cal, how does that happen?
Yeah.
But this is the logic I'm talking to you, Daniel. Like every week that we're kind of expecting college football to be what it used to be, where the good teams would just blow up on the bad teams. Not anymore. Throw that logic out the window. Now we're dealing with like upsets every week.
Well, Jonka, a 13-10 victory of Wisconsin over Washington.
Bro. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. Like, I feel like Tennessee should be higher.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh doing good. Pittsburgh plays
Notre Dame.
Yeah, they do play Notre Dame this weekend.
Saturday at noon.
Do you have any idea how much I'm rooting for Pittsburgh this weekend, even though I don't want to, but I do, to beat Notre Dame? So everybody can shut the hell up about Notre Dame already. I don't even think they deserve to be 9 when they had the same amount of losses as Miami, and they lost to Miami. I'm telling you.
What do you think?
This
is an ACC match right here. What do you think about Clemson and Louisville? Do you think Clemson can give them some problems?
Yes, I think so. All just because Isaac Brown, the Homestead native, is out, I think, for the season. So they're I think their number one weapon besides Chris Bell is not playing. So Chris Bell is playing, but Isaac Brown is not. You could just tell in their offense with Miller Moss, and without Isaac Brown, they're kind of like crippled in a way. Like they're kind of missing their superstar. And I think that's what you saw with California. They were able to hold on defensively, and they edged it out in overtime. But I think Clemson can win that game. Funny enough, I'm going to have to be rooting for Clemson this weekend. Funny enough. Because if Louisville were to lose one more time, that puts Miami over Louisville, because Louisville has the tiebreaker because they beat us. So that works out in our favor. And Virginia plays Duke. I don't want to root for Duke. You know the reason why. Know the reason why. So I'm not gonna even bring that up. But let's say I'll quietly just root for Duke. Quietly. So there's a lot of ACC teams that I'm gonna have to be rooting for. But shout out to James Madison. Just like last year and the year before that, they've been a team that's like, obviously they haven't, they're not as good as I don't want to say that. I don't want to disrespect them. They're not like at the top team in the country, but they're just solid in their conference. They do their job well. Yeah. So shout out to them. But South Florida, bouncing back and destroying UTSA. Byron Brown looking like a stud. He might be a top. I think he should be one of the top quarterback prospects.
Yeah, they kind of after they lost to Miami, people were like, "Oh, it's it, the hype's dead, whatever." It got quiet, but like you said, hey, credit to them. They worked hard to get back into the rankings.
Exactly, bro. And then plus, like, okay, they lost the other, I think 1 or 2 weeks ago. I forgot it was. I think it was to SMU or something like that. And they lost. I forgot. Yeah, I think it was SMU. It doesn't matter. I think just all they have to do is just win their conference, and I think they're in the playoffs. So that's good for them. They don't really. It doesn't really matter where they're at right now. All that matters is tomorrow night what the committee decides to put them at. That's where it really matters.
What do you think about 6-3 Minnesota on Friday night taking on number 9, 8-1 Oregon?
This might be one of the most underrated games. I think Minnesota can give Oregon some trouble. Some trouble. Now that word "some" is a very low percentage of trouble, but I think Oregon wins out in like a 38 to like 17 game, a blowout, but nothing too crazy. I think that's the outcome I'm expecting from Oregon against Minnesota. Now, if Oregon were to lose that game somehow, then the things could be changing a little bit. Oregon would be 2 losses. And if Oregon loses to Minnesota, do you drop them to potentially under Notre Dame, Texas, Oklahoma, who all have 2 losses? BYU has 1 loss. Vanderbilt has 2 losses. Georgia Tech has 1. Hey, this is what this is what I've been telling you, Daniel, every year, and I tell all you guys, just wait until week 7, 8, 9. This is where we really see the teams that are at the top. See what happens. This is where the movement really starts. Oh
Saturday,
man,
Saturday at noon, Wisconsin, Indiana. Wisconsin just beat Washington. Do you think Wisconsin gives Indiana trouble? I mean,
no.
listen, I don't want to say no because Penn State gave Indiana a run for the money.
But think Penn State has the talent. I don't think Wisconsin does. Sure, Wisconsin can play like a team that has nothing to lose, like the Dolphins. But I just don't think they're gonna beat Indiana. I think after that game this weekend, beating Penn State like they did, that momentum is gonna be so hard to beat. Is that game at Wisconsin or at Indiana?
That game is.
It should tell you. It should tell you there.
Yeah,
versus Wisconsin, so it's at Indiana.
Yeah, it's at Indiana.
Yeah, buddy. Hoosiers win. I say by 30.
Okay. South Carolina, Texas A&M. I'm not really concerned about that game. I think Texas A&M wins.
Yeah, I think Marcel Reed is too good, bro.
Obviously, we talked about Notre Dame Pitt. That's going to be a real good game. That's at 12 noon also on Saturday.
I'm going to be on that TV. Book it.
Michigan Northwestern. What do you think about that?
My God. Hey, listen, what I would love to see is Bryce Underwood, the new freshman quarterback, to make a statement game and maybe make some noise and give Ohio State something to worry about at the end of the year. But I think Michigan wins this game, but in a close one. I don't know why, but I don't know. It's giving me like that little feeling like Northwestern is going to come in there and really it's at Northwestern, so they're going to be really motivated against a good team. And Michigan can't afford to lose one more game, or else I think they would be out of contention even for the playoffs. So they can't afford to lose. Northwestern. Let me just click on Northwestern for a second. They're 5-4, 9th in the Big Ten. They're coming off a loss to USC, 38-17. Yeah, this is at USC, so that makes sense. But this is at home, and they've been winning at home. So okay, So that means that may be something to look for. Northwestern could pull it off, but I just don't think that's gonna happen. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, this game, since Saturday ended, this game I'm about to tell you right here is one that I was like, this is gonna be a good one. And I'm talking about Oklahoma, Alabama.
Bro, Ty Simpson versus John Mateer. I think I don't know if John Mateer is still playing, but is he out? Let me just make sure. Yes, I think so. Or I think I don't know. Let me check the stats. They just beat Tennessee this past weekend. Let me click on Tennessee. Yeah, he is playing. Okay, just to make sure. I thought he was injured. Yeah, bro. Joey Aguilar, stud. This guy, he's a terror. Just shout out to Tennessee. This guy's really good. Okay. Yeah, they play Alabama at 3:30 in Tuscaloosa.
I don't know who to pick in that one. I'll be honest with you.
Alabama right now is on a roll, bro. I mean, they come off a win against LSU at home. And is this game going to be – yeah, it's at home against Oklahoma. I'm expecting – as much as I like John Mateer, I think Alabama right now and Ty Simpson are gonna roll Oklahoma. I'd say definitely more than 2 touchdowns. I would put my money on it.
You know, my good boss is a Bama graduate. And for him, I'm going to say roll Tide. I'm gonna roll with the Crimson Tide.
I gotta give credit where credit is due. Kellen DeBoer, I've talked some smack, but he's back. But he's doing good right now. That's good. That's good. I gotta give credit where credit is due. He's doing really good after losing to FSU, who's in the dog water right now. He's like Mike Norvell might get fired before the last week of the season.
You think Florida gives Ole Miss a run for the money?
It's versus Florida. Okay, so it's at Ole Miss. Florida beat Ole Miss last year in a really crazy game against Jackson Dart, but yeah, Florida's defense is really good, and I think they're gonna continue with DJ Lagway, but Lagway got benched this past weekend.
He did.
And Dallas Wilson, the superstar freshman, is out for the year. So they're going to be limited offensively. And then Ball, I'm not expecting him to run the ball much. So I'm going to take Ole Miss on this one, unfortunately, because I think if Florida would have been just, maybe kept Billy Napier for the rest of the season, and maybe that defense would have stayed, together, I think they would have done something, but Ole Miss wins this game. Unfortunately,
I agree.
A team to lose.
I agree with you. I go with Ole Miss. Georgia and Texas. I'm going with the Dogs.
Yeah, Kirby Smart in this situation at home versus Texas. Texas has been struggling. I don't know why offensively. Sure, they beat up on the good teams, but when it comes to the good teams, just after all, I don't know. After all the Arch Manning hype and after spending all this money on the roster, they just kind of fell short. I forgot the head coach's name. Do you remember the coach's name? I'm blanking out here.
With Texas?
Yeah. Is it Shane Steichen? No. But whatever, doesn't matter. Yeah, this is gonna be this matchup is gonna be way too hard for Texas. Texas defense. Steve Sarkisian. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I just think he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna be able to outsmart Kirby Smart. Funny enough, and this might be just Georgia has the better. I feel like the better quarterback at the moment, the better overall team vibe right now. And I also think they have a better defense. So I'm going to take the Dogs here. Maybe winning by 10 points. They're going to keep it close because defenses. I just don't think Georgia's offense is that good. But I could be wrong. So they can prove me wrong. But I just don't think it's that good.
6-3 TCU against 8-1 BYU. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Cougars.
Yeah. I'm sorry, TCU, bro. You had your 1 year against Georgia and got bulldozed.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is BYU.
So
Is
we're gonna
the best
talk
thing.
about our local teams,
Yeah.
and we're gonna start out with FIU in Conference USA. Jonka, a program high 56 points on
Yeah,
the
bro.
Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee. Granted, Middle Tennessee not doing too hot this year.
Told
But
you.
Jonka, playing in Murfreesboro is, or just Middle Tennessee in general, is a program that FIU historically has had a hard time playing against. Mind you, there was no Q1 Jenkins in this game. It was quarterback Joe Pizanski, who went 7 for 28, 257 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 tutties for Pizanski. We had Kajon Owens, 15 carries, 68 yards, but had 2 touchdowns. The Panthers absolutely steamrolled the Blue Raiders. Even though Middle Tennessee got on the board first, it was FIU who came away with the huge victory. They're now 2-3 in the conference, 4-5 overall. And their next game for the Panthers is going to be right here at the home, 5 p.m. This Saturday, hosting Liberty. So, Jonka, FIU still, with now 3 games left in the season,
Yep.
they're 2 wins away from being bowl eligible. And how sweet would it be for Willie Simmons in his first year, and honestly, been a couple years for FIU now, to be bowl. Actually, it's been since 2019 that FIU has not been to a bowl, which was I believe it was the Camellia Bowl. Under Butch Davis, it was a loss to Arkansas State. That's the last time the FIU Panthers have been to a bowl game. Since 2019, they've had losing seasons. Obviously, with Mike McIntyre taking over for Butch Davis, we all know that he had 3 straight years of 4-8 records. Now we're at 4-5 with Willie Simmons. Obviously, after steamrolling Middle Tennessee, and Liberty, Jacksonville State, and Sam Houston in the mirror for us.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I think Liberty and Jacksonville State are going to be tough games. I think that we get a victory to end the year against Sam Houston. But either Liberty or Jacksonville State, there needs, out of those 2 games, if they want to be bowl eligible this year in Simmons' first year, either one of those 2, they need to pick up one of the 2.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna have to agree. They have to win 2 of the next 3 games. I don't know which ones of the companies going to be against Liberty or Jackson State. They have to win one of those 2. Those are the 2.
I think, to be honest with you, I think their best chance is Liberty.
If they can beat Liberty, this is going to be at home, which I might go to that game.
Liberty's 4-5 as well. Jacksonville
Okay,
State
so they're going to be fine.
Jacksonville State 6-3. I think the Liberty game is the best possibility in those 2 games to get the victory.
Yeah, I would have to say beat Liberty. Try your best against Jacksonville State. If you can keep it close, okay, maybe get a little bit serious. Try to win that game. And then if not, then focus up against Sam Houston. The time hasn't been determined yet.
1-8 Sam
Houston. So
who's 1-8?
Okay, yeah. So let's say we pencil in Sam Houston as a win. We've seen things happen with FIU, but
yeah.
Aside from that, we'll pencil them as a win.
Well, we can't say much about the Delaware game because Delaware, if you look at Delaware, they're doing really good.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing good, but Sam Houston isn't. So that's the only flip-flop we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, besides like the schedule here, I think they have the opportunity to be bowl eligible. But at the same time, if they don't, Willie Simmons has done a great job this year. Keep recruiting, but the one little hiccup that I think might happen for next year, Daniel, is because I'm looking at the roster right now, right? Okay, I'm looking at the QBs. They have one, two, three, four, five, six QBs, right? One of them is a sophomore, one's a senior, one's a freshman, one's a junior, sophomore, and sophomore. If this is a situation, I don't know, bro. I feel like they're kind of like they don't really know who their next quarterback is, so I could see that being a problem for the Panthers. And I think this is where you really look. We're going to be talking about the Hurricanes in a second, but
yeah,
this is where I would try to, if I'm really try to steal Emory Williams, maybe, or maybe another quarterback from another rival in state, where they would come down here and try to make the quarterback play a little bit better. I feel like that's what we're lacking a little bit. Get some receivers. I think we'll be finding receivers. We have talent everywhere in South Florida, so I think Willie Simmons is going to do good on that. Improve the defense a little bit, but overall, the only hiccup I can see is if you don't get a good quarterback after we're going to be losing Keon Jenkins, and I think this guy that you said, what's his name?
Pizanski.
I think he's also a senior. It's going to be really tough on the Panthers, bro. If you can't get a good quarterback for next year, you better hope your development in the offseason is really good so that whoever you do bring in is ready to go, because I don't think you want to start off next year in a bad way. Kind of like you have a balloon full of air, and then you don't want to deflate that balloon, bro, real quick. You don't want to be on a 1-2 game losing streak, and then to start the year off, and now all of a sudden you're fighting for the next 10 games to win 6 out of the 10.
Yeah,
that they cannot start off next year bad, but for this year, you gotta beat Jacksonville State or Jack State and or Liberty, and then I'm pretty sure you'll beat Sam Houston. That's the only hiccup I could see.
And I think this is what I think. I don't know if it will happen, but this is what I think. FIU will end the year 6-6.
Okay.
Clinchable. And obviously the conference will end 4-4. So what would you make? I honestly look, yes, you say, it's 6-6. But for being first year head coach Willie Simmons with FIU, I'll take it. I mean, taking you to a bowl, obviously it'll be a lower end bowl. Like we've been to the Bahamas Bowl, it'll probably be a low end bowl like that for being 6-6. But I'll take going back to a bowl since 2019. And it's your first year with our program, and you do it. You get us to a bowl game, and you win the Shula Bowl in the same year. I'll take it.
I mean, no matter what happens, if they finish 5-7 or 6-6, or even maybe they just don't win anymore after this, I think Willie Simmons, if they do make a bowl game, they can look at this and say, like, okay, you know what, we lost a close one to Missouri State, 28-21, so that was a close game.
Yeah.
We kind of fumbled that bag on Kennesaw State, but we should have, coming off a win off of Western Kentucky, you would think you would beat Kennesaw State, so they got to fix kind of those little hiccups. Yeah, losing to Delaware shouldn't have happened. So there's improvements that Willie Simmons can do, and you can. And I think next year, if he does make those improvements, you can see those L's turn into W's and those close games being your favor. And I think that will help the program a lot. So, Willie Simmons, let's see what you can do. And update, it looks like the Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to double overtime. There's 0.3 left on the overtime. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell hit the 3. So it looks like we're going to double overtime. This is a crazy game with no Bam Adebayo.
So Your Miami Hurricanes 38-10 victory over Syracuse. Jonka, I'm not going to lie. I didn't tell you anything, but at first, a whole quarter, 0-0, no score. I was like, this cannot be happening. This cannot be happening. In a way, against this Syracuse team that, credit to them, they did come out to play. But having that whole quarter and a little bit of the start of the second be 0-0, is that something against a struggling Syracuse team this year? Is that something that you're like, yeah, that can't happen?
I do think so. That's an issue. You should have. I mean, obviously Miami's missing a couple starters, significant starters on their
Yes,
team.
they were.
So that's probably why they're using a lot of guys that they haven't been using. There's not a lot of cohesion because of all these movements and all these players that have no chemistry yet. But besides that, I mean, from listening to Locked On Canes with Alex Dono, shout out to him. Apparently, Syracuse has been like using like crazy backups for quarterback because they're just really that bad into the injury bug this year. There should be no reason why. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Honestly, Daniel, I'm like so lost for it because I was on the same board as you. Like I was at the card show and I was just getting like I was just checking the updates, on the way. I'm like, okay, and nothing's going on. I'm like, damn, a whole quarter we didn't score on Syracuse, and I'm like, damn, is this really gonna happen? Like, or is like something going on? Is that like they just keep running the ball and they're stopping the run because we don't have Mark Fletcher was not playing. Maybe they're struggling on the run game. Or are they doing something schematically that's like screwing up the offense? I don't know what was going on because I wasn't watching the game. But I think what kind of Mario Cristobal kind of did this game, which I hate that he does this. Sometimes it's just like he just wants to like out condition you. Like I don't know if you understand what that means.
Yeah,
like he wants you just to like tire. Who's gonna get more exhausted first? Are you gonna give out first, or are we gonna give out first? And he thinks that his team is more conditioned than the other team, so we're gonna just drag this thing out and let's see how long you last. And it doesn't matter how much we score; it's just gonna be like that. And there's gonna be a low scoring game or no score game until something gives. And I hate that about this team right now, where we have so much talent on the offensive side. Carson Beck didn't throw an interception. And you still are not able to score, and it ended up having to be the defense saving your butt. Oh,
sorry to interrupt you. The Heat won. The Miami Heat have defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Somebody must have hit a game-winning shot. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that just took me for surprise. There was 0.3 left in the game, so that must have been crazy. Okay. Yeah, like their DBs, the defense came in clutch. And then it came into the second half where the adjustments were made and the offense was able to get going. And you could just tell, like, Syracuse was just like, they were just out of it at that point. They just couldn't keep up. I think Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator, started to throw things at them. And they just were like, they were kind of like discombobulated. There were some arguments. I know we saw Mario Cristobal and the coach, I think Sam Brown.
Yes. I was going to ask, what was that all about?
I don't know either, bro. They were just going, I think they were just like, I don't know, bro. These two guys don't like each other, but they shook hands at the end of the game amicably. Good sportsmanship. That's what we like to see here. But like, to me, as the Kane fan here, I was not impressed with the offense in the first half. They fixed their crap in the second half, because if this game would have been anywhere close in the third quarter, Daniel, my God, I probably won't be on this show today. I'm telling you that. And we have and Blakey and Brandon aren't even here, so just imagine you'd be just lonely today. But besides that, they gotta fix their crap, because now I think they play here this weekend against NC State,
which I was gonna ask you.
CJ Bailey, quarterback CJ Bailey is a really good quarterback. They got some good players out there, and NC State is always a tough team to play. You're at the Hard Rock. You lost to Louisville at the Hard Rock. You just came off a win here. So I don't want to hear any excuses. You better win this game because the next 2 games, if you guys don't know, are at Virginia Tech and at Pittsburgh. Yeah. And if you guys didn't check the date right here, it's wintertime, baby. And guess what? It's going to be snowing. It's going to be snowing. And you can bet your ass that Mario Cristobal's record in November, as we all know, is terrible. Listen, Daniel, if I were to say that I'm not scared, I'd be lying. Bro, the thing is the Canes cannot afford to lose. Just after we just explained in the top 25, we cannot afford to lose. Because if, let's say, any of those, let's say Louisville loses, right? Or Virginia loses again, Georgia Tech maybe. Miami could still be in the ACC championship picture if they win out and certain things go their way. But you cannot let this go to chance. You cannot leave it up to chance on these teams to lose for you and then you make it. You got to win out and then maybe the committee votes you in. That's the only way. If you're not going to make the ACC championship, you have to be voted in. Now, if Notre Dame looks like, oh, you know, they're kind of like, okay, they're kind of slowing down or something happens, and you're blowing out you blow out NC State, you blow out Virginia Tech, and you blow out Pittsburgh, and Notre Dame wins out, right? But they win out by like close games. It's going to look better that you're blowing out the competition than Notre Dame, you know, kind of like edging out.
I think that you guys have a better chance of getting into the college football playoffs than making the ACC title game.
Yeah, I can agree. It would take something crazy. If you didn't lose to SMU, this is me as a person. If you didn't lose to SMU that same week, Georgia Tech lost. You would have been first. You would have first place in the ACC, but you decided to eat your crap. But you know what? Hey, you know what? Let me back off here because I feel like there's gonna be some Canes fans watching and they might take this out of context. But focus, bro. Focus, please. If we're not gonna make the ACC championship, if we're not gonna be making the college football playoff, if that were to happen, right? We make a bowl game. Mario Cristobal, I'm talking to you right now. At least win the bowl game. At least, because I'm getting really fed up. Because if we're not going to be aiming for the college football playoff, and being in it or in competition for it, win the damn bowl game.
And if they don't,
I want my T-shirt already. I want a T-shirt that says bowl game champions.
Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Some sort of bowl. It could be the worst bowl in college football. I want the damn bowl game, bro. I'm sick and tired of this, man. Every year I get no T-shirts.
And what if they don't win the bowl game?
You probably won't see me watching Hurricanes for the next season, buddy. You probably won't see it happen.
Really?
Unless rumors are true about Lenore Sellers coming to Miami. But that's another thing for another day. Lenore Sellers is rumored to be considering not staying at South Carolina and possibly linked to the Miami Hurricanes. I don't know if I want that just because it's another 1-year quarterback, another rental, and I don't want that, to be honest. So that's the only reason I could see me being hesitant on that situation, because what message does that send to the quarterbacks that are already on the team? It's like, oh damn, you're renting another quarterback.
You keep getting transferred.
So that's the only negative I could possibly see. But the thing is, Lenore Sellers is good. I feel like he needs a change of environment, better players, and he's a really dynamic player. So he could be like another. I'm not gonna say Cam Ward, but he does extend plays like Cam Ward. So I feel like that's a dimension that our offense kind of needs right now because Carson Beck ain't the answer, Chief. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say this: go Canes for now. For now, go Canes. Just saying. There's still hope.
So we're gonna switch gears here from college football to something, for the past couple weeks, I've been wanting to have this conversation because I think it's time that we have a lengthy conversation about it. And it's about sports betting, sports gambling. And, a couple weeks ago, we heard about Terry Rozier and the Miami Heat, Chauncey Billups, that whole crazy story. We talked about it. But now it's trickled down into Major League Baseball. And Luis Ortiz and Emmanuel Clase from the Cleveland Guardians. Luis Ortiz was placed on non-disciplinary paid leave by MLB on July 3rd, 2025, as MLB investigated unusual wagering activity on two specific pitches that he threw. Emmanuel Chase was placed on non-disciplinary paid leave on July 28, 2025, also amid MLB's investigation. So, and let me get here something for you guys. They have been indicted today for rigging bets on pitches in MLB games. Ortiz was allegedly paid $5,000 for throwing an intentional ball June 15th, and Clase paid $5,000 for facilitating it, and then did it again for $7,000 apiece. Wild, right? Absolutely wild. And you thought that the NBA's was crazy. The MLB's is almost just as crazy.
I'm at a loss. Bro, I don't get it. These players make good money. If you make the MLB, you're making some good money because there's no limit to the salary.
So it's greed though. It's what it is. It's greed.
Bro, that is just terrible, bro. First the NBA, now the MLB. It's like,
I don't think it's going to stop here. I think we might see it happening in other sports.
Oh no. I think I've seen some sus play in a lot of sports, NFL. But this is getting crazy, bro. And I think I saw something today about this where they're going to be limiting the amount of money that you can place on pitchers' number of strikeouts. So for anybody that bets on baseball next year, you could possibly see a limit to how much you can bet on. Let's say Ohtani getting over 9 strikeouts in the game. There's no more betting certain, let's say $200. If the limit is 200, you cannot bet over it. Things are gonna get really hectic, bro. I'm telling you right now, this is gonna get interesting.
If you guys ever see the Dallas Cowboys using Brandon Aubrey for a 70-yard field goal, there might be a bet there if he can make it or not.
Oh no, yeah, there's a bet. There are bets. Oh, the longest one. You can bet on the longest field goal.
I think he could. You know what? You know what's crazy is that if the Cowboys were in that 70-yard range and they go for it, I honestly think that's in range for him.
Bro, a lot of the guys now, I feel like they're in range, bro. At what point are they kicking it from the opposite end zone? Why have the kickers now anymore? Just go for it. 4th and down. There, boom, go for it. Just like, what's
75 yards? Go for it.
I don't like. This is getting out of hand, guys. Like the gambling, I've been saying it to everybody that's talked to me about it. Where it was just like maybe a decade ago, where you were not allowed to bet on sports at all. The players, the leagues were not representing it. Nothing was being represented or being enforced upon you or being propaganda or anything like that. And all of a sudden, all these leagues are promoting betting sites. Bro, isn't that a conflict of interest? That you're making these these I don't understand how nobody's seen through this. Now, you start to question things. where you see crazy comebacks. You see like games that you wouldn't think teams would lose, like the Dolphins and the Bills yesterday afternoon. I think apparently 80% of people bet on the Bills to win that game, and the Dolphins win. If something comes out of the NFL and dealing with gambling, oh, trust me, there's going to be some big stuff. I'm telling you, Daniel, I think accountability and like there's going to be some sort of consequences. Something's going to happen with sports in the next couple of years. Something's going to give. It's going to be crazy news.
You sit in an arena, a stadium, you look around, and it's just advertisements on the screen of sports betting. And then you're at home watching a game on TV. What's the commercial? It's sports betting. So here's my problem with that. Is that you're promoting it so much, but then you don't want the athletes to do it.
Yeah,
you don't want the athletes to do it, but you're literally putting it in every aspect of sport and then expect for nothing to happen. So I think it's kind of hypocritical.
Yeah, like you want the athletes to represent the betting brands, whatever it is, but they're not allowed to use it. I mean, if they're making money on their pocket, then what does it matter to you? Because you're also making money. I mean, if I understand in the way it's
the game,
it affects the team. If you're like Terry Rozier, where he was playing on purposely bad, which kind of screwed our team up.
Yeah,
and I think you could tell. I think in that Cleveland series that it was just crazy bad how he was playing.
Which, by the way, do you think that the Heat should be compensated with a draft pick because Charlotte knew the issue and still sold him to Miami and did not tell Miami what the issue was?
I think that is insider trading, bro. That is insider trading. Like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, we'll give you this this money. We'll play it off as it's real, but it's actually fake. And then I give you something in exchange for it. So you illegally bought it. What kind of a trade is that? I want my first round pick back. Buddy. I'm gonna fight for it. I'm gonna fight for it.
You better get on the phones and start calling Charlotte.
If we don't get that first round pick back, book it. Adam Silver is the reason these players are allowing to control this league, bro. Adam Silver knows there are many players, many star players, gambling on themselves, but he just doesn't want to admit it. Because how can you let this happen? You know what happened. He got caught red-handed by the FBI, but you do nothing about it, and yet you just.
Which, by the way, in there he said, "Oh, in the NBA's investigation, we didn't find anything."
Like, what are you talking about? How do you not find anything, bro?
He said due to lack, they don't have the resources that the FBI does.
Okay, and now the FBI was able to find the resources. Okay, so reopen the investigation. It's that simple, bro. If we don't get that first round pick, I would sue. If I'm the Heat, I would sue. I would make some sort of complaint, something against the league.
Because this is going to go to court, obviously, and that's a lengthy process, and that's not going to be like, oh, that's going to end next week or in a month. That's going to be dragged out.
Yeah, it's such an unfortunate situation. Like, why is it that the team gets screwed over in the trade that wouldn't have wanted Rozier in the first place if they had known that this was a problem?
Do you think the Hornets should get punished?
I think so. I think since they knew about it, they give up their pick this coming year to the Heat.
I'm okay with that.
Now, if that were to happen, right? This is what I would say. if that were to happen, you don't make that known. You don't make that announcement until the season is over and the lottery and the teams in the lottery have already been picked and the order's already been made, and then you make it, because you don't want Charlotte knowing that information to start winning on purpose and lowering the odds that they get a first round, they get a good high pick. So you want to give that information out after the NBA lottery has already finished. Then you make that announcement. That's my solution. But if you're not, you give the Miami Heat a first round pick. Give them a first round pick.
And here's another one. A lot of you know that I work for an NCAA Division II school. The NCAA has now said and ruled NCAA Division I, NCAA Division II, NCAA Division III, anyone that is on any of those staffs or any of those schools, 1 through 3 division in an NCAA school, which obviously includes myself and a lot of my colleagues, can now bet in professional sports. And I think that could get messy.
So wait, you can gamble on your team?
I can't gamble on college sports, but I can NCAA saying I can't gamble in college sports, but I can gamble in professional sports.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I'm sure people still did anyways. But yeah, now they're saying you can do it officially.
Okay. I mean, I don't got a problem with that.
I think it could get messy.
In what way?
I think that someone is going to be like, all right, well, yeah, I can gamble in professional sports, but I'm going to start gambling in our own sports.
I mean, they could just do that right now. I don't mind. Yeah, the decision to, if you know that you are not allowed to gamble on college sports, and if you do it, that's on you. But if you can gamble on any professional, then I'm okay with it. I don't think it's like, yeah, sure. If you want to bring that heat on yourself, sure, go ahead. See after on to find out.
I think what I'm trying to say is that I think that there's going to be some idiot out there that has some sort of gambling addiction, that he's going to gamble in pro sports, but then he's like, you know what, I'm going to start gambling on in our school sports as well.
The only way I could see that being abused is that if it's a small school, that they would just probably, oh, you know what, why would I use my account when I can just make an account for my grandma and just have it under her name and she makes the bets, and then whatever profits from that, she just takes that out of her bank account and just gives me the money.
I want to say this very carefully and very clear, because again, I am an employee of an NCAA Division II school, but I want to say it very clearly. I'm not endorsing this, but I'm saying that I feel that a lot of more eyeballs, kind of backing up what you said, a lot more eyeballs are on employees that work in a Division I school, especially a big Division I school, compared to an NCAA Division II school. Again, I'm not saying that go ahead, do it. If you're in a D2 school, you can get away with it because there's not enough eyeballs. I'm not saying that. I'm not advocating for it. I myself, Jonka, you can back me up with this. You know that I don't gamble.
Yeah.
But
trust me, guys, I've tried.
I agree with you there.
What about possibly the smaller schools getting abused? Yeah.
Yes.
That's the only way I can see that. If it's a big school, it's going to be tough to see it. But I mean, like, there's going to be obviously investigations to if anybody does do in Division I. But that's the only way I could. If you're not a player, if you're going to be like maybe like a equipment manager or something betting, it's going to be tough to find that person or kind of like single them out of millions of people. But I would
say for NCAA, yes, it'll be hard. But I will say, with United States law enforcement, there's no running from the law, and they will find anybody.
I think a way you can enforce it is that if everybody that is on or affiliated with the school sports program should be, since I'm pretty sure they're gonna have you give the social security number to them, and if your social security number is linked to any account, any sports betting account,
Yeah, an
they'll know
account
about
with the university you work with.
Yeah, exactly. So if they have your social security number and they look up your information, and let's say they find your credit card and your credit card has a statement from a deposit from whatever,
All right, you bought a drink at the local market on campus.
bro. If they find something, you with FanDuel, Price Picks, Underground, MGM, Caesars Sport, anything, and they see, they're gonna check the account, they're gonna do their investigation, and then look at the bets you made. So that's the only way I could see. I was like, hey, you have to give me your personal information so that we can have it in case any illegal activities is going on. If you are gonna be sports betting, I think you also have to. I think another good thing before we go, if you're gonna be part of the sports program in any Division 1, Division 2, 3, whatever, you have to report to the school that you are sports gambling. If you illegally don't tell them and you're making these illegal transactions, you'll be fired and then held into the court of law. You gotta give them some sort of way to let them know that you are sports gambling, so that they can manage you in a way so that nothing happens.
I like that idea. And yeah, last thing, ESPN also pulled their ESPN Bet app.
Yeah,
they pulled it. No more ESPN Bet.
Thank God. They were terrible.
Anyways, with that is the end of our episode for tonight, guys. We hope you enjoyed episode 206. Remember, we have always now a week worth of episodes. Tomorrow will be Sideline. We got Courtside on Wednesday, Pressing Matters with myself on Thursday, Plug Picks with Jonka on Friday, Fifth Round on Saturday with Isaac, and One Timers with Blake on Sunday. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, as Jonka always says, support the troops. So, guys, yeah, any family members, I have a cousin of mine that served 2 tours in Afghanistan as a U.S. Marine, who's actually today 250 years of the U.S. Marines. So thank you, guys. We appreciate your service here at Plug Talk Sports. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the weather if you're in South Florida. And we'll see you guys next week for a brand new episode.
And again,